So, Michael, I just wanted to ask you about, how Make-A-Wish Massachusetts and Rhode Island has been performing wishes amid the pandemic. I've got to imagine there's a lot of extra planning that happens with all of that, right?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing Bella's story. I think Bella's wish is such a wonderful example of the kinds of wishes that we've seen move forward in this environment over the past year. That what we've really seen is our wish children wish for things that, transform their rooms, their homes into places of joy. Whether that's a room makeover like you saw Bella wish for, or a gaming computer, or a puppy, or a tree house, or an outdoor playset. What it is can be different for every child, but the overall theme that it's making their homes places that they can happily be in this time that we're all spending a lot more time at home, and obviously the majority of our wish children being high risk are spending that much more time in their homes. And it's really sort of that category that we've seen wishes move over into. And again, I think Bella's room is a great example. Um, I also think what you've seen out of this wish type is that it's something that requires that much more community support, whether that's a tree house that has a local builder, or if you take Bella's room, for example, just to make Bella's room makeover happen, you have volunteers that are there to help build things, like Sergeant Hartwell and his partner Denise. You have TLC Painting that came in and volunteered their time and services to paint her room. You have Inclined to Design out of Massachusetts, a design firm that helped design and work with her through that process. So, just like everything in 2020 and now 2021, where you look for that silver lining, the silver lining to the kinds of wishes that we're making right now are that they're things that are going to last for our wish children, and they're things that really require and include this full community support behind our wish children.
Right. And that community support, it's got to be still a little bit hard to coordinate amid the pandemic. She was talking about Zoom meetings, emails, and not having to be able to do it in person. I'm sure creates a little bit of a challenge, but you guys, I think she said she'd been working on it even prior to the pandemic, and then COVID happened and it kind of changed the timeline a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we are really fortunate. Internally, we have folks like Hannah who worked with Bella, who are wish coordinators, who are absolutely wonderful at working with our wish children through the details of their wish. But really, we're fortunate that as an organization, we have such a fantastic community of supporters and donors and volunteers, that as hard as this year has been, they've stayed with us, they've stayed behind our mission, they've stayed behind our wish children, and are still, supporting and adapting and making sure that we have what we need, to support our wish children and make their wishes come true.
And so I kind of forgot to ask Bella's mom this, but how did she and her family get involved with Make-A-Wish? Did mom reach out? Did Bella think about it? How did that conversation really get started?
Yeah, so the majority of our wish children come through medical referrals, or directly through their family. So we've been in contact with Bella's doctors at Hasbro, as well as Amanda. Hasbro is a wonderful partner for us here in Rhode Island. Obviously, the amazing support and care they give to our wish children, but also working with us, referring children, to help us make their wishes come true and add a little joy to their lives during their treatment periods, or directly after, depending on the child. But absolutely, the medical professionals here in Rhode Island are such wonderful partners. Obviously, they are heroes all the time. I think people have realized that and seen that a little bit more over the past year, as we see our medical heroes really come to the front line of a lot of stories and a lot of things that people are talking about. But we have always seen it here at Make-A-Wish Massachusetts and Rhode Island, that our medical professionals, with everything else on their plate, are still thinking about partnering with us and finding ways to bring some joy into these kids' lives.
Yeah, and Bella mentioned, she had been going through a tough time prior to COVID. I'm sure COVID escalated that tough time, and that you guys really worked with her to make sure it was something that was done kind of on her time, and making sure that she wasn't overwhelmed by the process of redoing her whole room, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, the team that we have on our end, always wants to make sure that a wish is a joyful time for our wish children, and that obviously involves being flexible for their timeline, for what they want, for making sure that we're and envisioning their wish as it exists in their mind and not as it exists in our minds, right? So making sure that we're really delivering, in this case, on the room that Bella wanted. And again, I know for her, it was also that room for Bella was a symbol for her hope for her future too, right? That it sounds like from listening to Bella, she has her life more planned out than I do over a longer period of time. But that we know that she wants to open her own spa someday, and that room can be a daily reminder of that goal, of that dream, and helping her strive towards that.